everybody, it's Carrie here from KRLC Studio. So wonderful to see you here today again. Filming a good tutorial does take some practice, and in today's video I'm going to go through with you some do's and don'ts for filming a great tutorial that will help you to stand out and so that you can shine for your viewers. First, before you push that record button, here are some really important tasks that you need to do so that your tutorial can flow smoothly. Number 1. This is one of my favorite hacks. If you're using any glue in a bottle, I have found leaving it upside down in a jar or container helps it flow out easier when you need it. This helps so you aren't wasting time trying to force out the glue and it's ready to use. Number 2, make sure you have your paint palette, brushes, water, and paper towel all set up ready to use. This includes any stamps, ink pads, or stencils. Number 3, if you're going to be painting or inking your signature pages, then prepare your pages beforehand with gesso. You can mention you prepped your pages beforehand, but you don't need to include this step in your tutorial. Number 4, if you're using fussy cut images, cut those out before you begin to film. You're taking away precious time in your tutorial doing a task we all know how to do, rather than getting to the techniques that are important to demonstrate in your tutorial. Number 5, make sure that your workspace and supplies are in frame. You want to ensure your project can be seen so nothing is missed and the viewer isn't left wondering how you did a certain step. Some tutorials I've seen also have so many supplies around their workstation that they only have a small space to show their project. Free up some space. If you're not using or have used a material, then remove it off your desk so you have more space to work. Number 6, also make sure that your camera frame isn't too close or too far away from your project. Think like your viewer and judge a good distance that is a good balance between the two. Number 7, and this is really important, lock your focus. Having your focus have a mind of its own while trying to demonstrate your work is super annoying. It can ruin a good tutorial if you're not careful. I've mentioned before that using the app Open Camera is a great tool to use when filming your videos. After making sure your workstation is in frame and you have the best distance between your project and the camera, just tap on your screen in the middle and then tap on the lock focus icon at the top of your screen on your phone. Justin Brown does a great job at guiding you through how to use Open Camera, and his tutorial link is in the description below. I encourage you to go and watch it. It really will help you. Number 8, avoid bringing your project close up to your camera, but rather zoom in on your project. You can do this by pausing your video, then zoom in, lock your focus, and then unpause your video to continue. Be very aware of your distance and use your zoom on certain areas or aspects of your project that you want your viewer to see better. But remember, when showing a full view of your project, pause your camera again, zoom out to a good distance, reset your locked focus, then unpause your video to continue your demonstration. Number 9, lighting is important. So depending upon the time of day, make sure your lighting best suits what you're demonstrating. Recording outside on a sunny day in the shade can work, but sometimes this can be distracting as clouds move and your light isn't consistent, even more so outside than inside. Natural daylight close to a window is the best. I wouldn't recommend filming at night, but if you do, just make sure you don't have a lot of shadows or it's too dark. If you have problems with this, then leave the filming for the next day. And number 10, as I've mentioned before, having a script and making a list of all your supplies before you record really makes a difference. This way you're prepared and your tutorial will flow so much easier. And next, when you begin recording, wait a few minutes to collect yourself before you begin to speak. Do this as well when you end your video. Finish what you're saying and stay still for a few seconds. This will help you during editing when connecting videos together for transitions, but more about that later in my editing video. As I mentioned in my previous video, talk in chunks. I'm still learning how to do this better, and it will continue to take some practice. Here's an example of what I'm talking about, and this applies when you're on film or doing a voiceover. As I mentioned, talk in chunks. This is what I'm still learning how to do. As I mentioned before, talk in chunks. I'm still learning how to do this. And now some definite don'ts you should remember not to do. Number 1, don't apologize for a noisy background. If the noise is temporary, pause the video, then start again when it's passed, or maybe remove your noisy distraction if you can. There are ways around this if you find you're having problems with loud background noises, or maybe you need to record at an earlier or a later time in your day. Number 2, don't talk about your kids, pets, laundry, life, etc. You're creating a video to demonstrate something. And I'm not talking about those artists who have already established a rapport with their subscribers. These artists have been online for a while, and so chatting and talking about their life with their subscribers is part of what they do. But if you're a newbie just starting to make tutorials, I would just stick to the demonstration. If you do want to chat, make it relevant to what you're doing, like your process that you're using or where you got your inspiration from. Number 3, make sure your kids and pets are occupied somewhere else. Many people find it very distracting and annoying that your tutorial has turned into days of our lives, and it takes about 20 minutes into the video just to see the demonstration. Remember, you're making a tutorial, not a vlog. If you want to do a vlog, that's something completely different. Viewers click on your tutorial because they want to learn something new that you have to offer. They don't necessarily want to listen to the everydays going on in your home. Like I said, make it relevant to what you're doing. What tips do you use when filming your tutorial videos? I'm really curious to know what kind of recording tips that work for you. So please share your hacks in the comments below. And once again, these suggestions that I've mentioned today are just what I have found as the best practices when making tutorial videos. I'm still practicing these for myself, but as I do, I've noticed that my tutorials are becoming better and better with each one that I make. So take these tips however you wish. Thank you so much for joining me today. Next week's video is how to record with your face, and I really look forward to talking about this with you. So remember, a little bit of what you fancy does you good.